Sarietjie Musgrave. I'm a teacher at heart from the middle of South Africa, from a city called Bloemfontein. I was trained as a foundation grade 1, 2 and 3 teacher, specializing in special needs and remedial education.
And where are you now?
I am now no longer a teacher, although I work with teachers on a daily basis. I'm now at the university called the Free State University, because that's the province that I come from, and I'm at a unit called ICTIs, which stands for ICT Innovation in School Education.
Wow. Now, will you talk a little bit? I know you were an award winner from this. Could you tell us a little bit about what you did in the classroom with students and how you won the award?
Right. The journey started in 2007 when one of my friends said, "Come, let's enter in for the competition," and encouraged me. And the first project that I did was, one of my tasks at the school was to sort of get all the teachers engaged with ICT in the classroom, and that was truly overwhelming. It was difficult for me to teach every period and then support 40 teachers along my journey. So what I did was I said to my learners, well, I will teach you everything I know, and all that I expect back from you is to adopt a teacher in the school, and then for the next 3 years you have to teach them everything you know. And that was a wonderful project, and it was really a relationship between a teacher and a student that lasted for 3 years, and best of it, it really made my life easier, and it was just a fast way to get teachers across the school to start integrating technology. Then teachers from outside our school heard the story and said, so can't your students train us as well? And that's exactly what sparked the next project. In 2007 was when I said to the learners, go and interview the teachers who are already integrating technology into the classroom, see what they are using, write a curriculum based on that for training teachers who've never switched on a computer. And they did a marvelous job, and teachers came from all over the province. They paid for their own transport because they were so keen to be trained, and not by a professional but by a student. So the students would sit one-on-one with a teacher, teach them from where you switch on a computer, what's the difference between a keyboard and a mouse, how do you make a capital S if you needed to. It was really brilliant. And for me, the students realized what hard work it is to really be a good teacher, what it takes to simplify something to somebody, and what it means, that aha moment when you see somebody click when you try to simplify something. But because of my training in special needs, I always wanted to find a connection between integrating technology and the difference that it can make to people living with disabilities. So the following year, with a new group of students, I said, well, if I teach you everything, the challenge for you is to find somebody in the community with special needs and to share your skills with them and really see the difference. So your research is about the before, the during and the after.
And what age are these students?
That group of students were between 15 and 16, and there was a group of 60 of them, each one adopting a person or a group of people, even a school or a classroom. It was working with deaf children, blind children, autistic children, adults, supporting teachers within their role of special needs teachers, till people who was bedridden because of age. We had one lady whose family has moved to Cyprus, and she could never communicate with them. She was in an old age home, and one of the learners just went to her, spent time with her, taught her how to email and how to Skype, and that was sharing what she's learned in class, and that really gave the teachers, the learners, the students, the opportunity to see this, what I am learning is making a difference to somebody else's life. So
what did you call your project? What's the name of it?
The last project was Spread the Sunshine. So it was you sit in a place where you receive a lot of sunshine and you can blossom, but you can do the same. You can spread the good news.
Do you have a website for those where people can see?
I do, but it's unfortunately in Afrikaans. And because the learners, the website that we had was for the learners to reflect on the challenges that they face, because most of these learners have never had any contact with people with disability. When we started the project, 72% of the group of 60 learners have never had face-to-face, direct one-on-one contact with a person living with disabilities. So it was a closed website where the learners could feel free to share, to learn from each other. And it was for me as a teacher the opportunity to see what type of scaffolding I had to build into the support that I gave them. So unfortunately, I've promised the learners that it won't be accessible. And the other thing is that it's some of it is not available in English, unfortunately.
Yeah. So if other teachers want to do what you did, you just say spread the sunshine and just
spread the sunshine. And I would say you can go to the Partners in Learning network and you can search for the word spread the sunshine, and the entire project is up there with some of the resources that I created for the students, the timeline, exactly how I've implemented it. And it would be great to hear from them how they adopted it, because I'm sure I could learn from them as well.
So now you're in a leadership role, and you said some very interesting things in the keynote discussion this morning about the role of leadership and change. And so why have you moved to a new position, and what is your mission there?
I think for me it was really hard to make the change, because I was happy at my school. I was in a wonderful school where teachers who's willing to move beyond the norm was well supported. But I really had the need to go and give back, a calling to give back, because I've received so much by being part of this forum. And this opportunity was created for me to spend every day of the year with either teachers or local government or students at the university studying education, to share and to create opportunities for them to collaborate. I think what I've picked up at school level is often teachers that are innovative, are brave, are willing to walk the extra mile, are often isolated. This is a wonderful opportunity, this forum, to connect those people and to inspire them. And I can just encourage principals is to not level the poppies growing on your field, but to really give them the chance to blossom and to share, create opportunity for them to share what they've learned here, and to slowly start challenging the other teachers in the school to also move beyond what is expected. I think my biggest challenge now is to make sure that every pre-service teacher that leaves our university is inspired by the best teachers in the world. So I share all these projects that I see here with the students. I ask them to really make sure that they understand what it means to be innovative and the use of technology in education, and what better way than to expose them via the Partners in Learning network to the best teachers in the world.
So are they required to take technology courses? In the United States, we have quite a few leading educational institutions, and I would question whether they're really leading, because they don't require teachers to have a technology course.
It is funny because I just worked with a group of students, and I said to them, so if you have to plot your level of competency with the use of ICT in your classroom, where would you plot yourself? Between 1 and 10, and most of them gave themselves 8, 9 out of 10. And I said, so tell me, what technology will you integrate into the classroom? And the only technology that most of them could think of is either Word to create assignments or PowerPoints to present them. What was really cool is I had a group of 10 teachers from different schools teaching from pre-primary, kindergarten up till grade 12 there in the room. And then they started sharing how on a daily basis they need to make use of technology to be effective teachers. And when I asked these youngsters, so how do you now rate yourself being prepared to go and integrate technology in the classroom? They suddenly gave themselves 2, 3 out of 10, and that became our challenge, is to make sure that after the course, they all leave with a 10 out of 10. And it was amazing to see how they suddenly view their role as a teacher, not as somebody that's presenting knowledge to a class, but a teacher that arrives to the classroom well prepared, prepared to scaffold for the learners, prepared to engage the learners, to challenge the learners, and then to go back and to really understand the assessment that took place, and being able to share that with the students, but also with the parents.
So if there are professors around the world watching this, because I have a lot of people who work with pre-service teachers, is there a way to reach you that you can share a website or something if they wanted to link up with you or your classes or work with you?
They are obviously always invited to come and visit. I love exposing our students to people from across the world.
Do you use Skype with people?
I will Skype, or we could use live meeting. That is possible. They could even interview some of these students that's been on this journey. They are more than welcome. I've recorded the students' journey, from where they think they know everything, because I think often youngsters between the age of 18 and 24 think they've sorted out technology. But it's different when you start considering how you would teach with it. So they're welcome to contact me. My email address, can I give my email address?
You can, or if you want a website, or I don't know how you want to do that.
I think the easiest is the email, because lots of the work that we do is not available in English.
Okay.
So it would be easy. It is Musgrave S, I'll spell that, MUSGRAVES at ufs.ac.za.
Okay, talking about service learning and teacher training. So
yes.
Go ahead. And so what book were you going to tell me about?
I think one of the books that really inspired me was written by our rector at our university, Professor Jonathan Jansen, who wrote a book, Knowledge in the Blood. And when you read that book, you really get a sense of education and teaching as a profession within the South African context. But part of his findings was that we don't get often black students who want to become teachers because they weren't exposed to the best teachers available. And yet some of them will be brilliant teachers if only we can inspire them. So what we're busy doing with our fourth year students, we've got a group of students who, except for their normal teaching, studying load, they are working through the Partners in Learning program, where we expose them to ICT skills for teachers, peer coaching, web quests, thinking tools of Intel, and they then develop a module that they will go and implement at a school. So to put that in a little bit more perspective, at the beginning of the year, these students actually meet the schools where they will be doing their prac teaching. They meet the teacher and whose class they will be teaching, and they discuss the content that will be taught in 6 months' time. Then we take the students back to the university, and then for 6 months they prepare for the learning that will take place. So by the time they arrive at the schools, they are well prepared. They are often better prepared than the teachers themselves. And they are inspirational, young, energetic teachers. And it's amazing to see what influence they've got on the class. And then they become the supply teachers. And that gives us the opportunity to work one-on-one with the teachers. And they go through the same process, look at the content that's currently being taught in their class. They then improve their lessons, and then at the end we give the student and the teacher the opportunity to compare their work, to make recommendations for each other, and then we've got an exhibition where they share this with first, second, third and fourth year education students. And the best outcome for this can be to have a youngster of 16-year-old say, well, this was the most amazing 4 weeks. I am inspired to become a teacher as well.
Because so they teach for 4 weeks, the students.
4 weeks, yes.
Wow.